Let's go with Stan and Neil Show.
What's up? Welcome to the Stan and Neil Show, episode 27. And so you guys are still our day ones. We really appreciate everybody who's here because we still consider this show to be in its infancy. And we appreciate those of you who are here. Neil, tell the people how they can be a part of the action consistently.
Yeah, you can be a a Hall of Famer, an All-Pro, or a rookie. Subscribe at one of those levels. We got over 1,000 subscribers. Later, we're all going to have a party together. I'm not sure where that's going to be yet, but then everybody can meet everybody in person.
And you're all invited.
Everybody's going to be invited, and so as soon as we get a sponsor, the sponsor will pay for the airfare and all the amenities that we need. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Open Yeah, there'll be a big library. There'll be a lot of books.
Yeah,
a lot of books. A lot of book reading. Okay. Yeah. How about that championship game, Stan? What do you think?
How about that? Indiana, what a story. You know what I mean? I'm glad that I caught the game. I almost forgot it was on because it's been so long since since they last played college football. They got to fix the schedule, man.
Oh, it's brutal. And I heard next year it's going to be a week longer.
It's even later next year. It's like
a week later.
Once the NFL playoffs start, they have to understand that like people have kind of moved on from college football. I mean, I know all the Indiana fans were locked in, all the Miami fans were locked in. Indiana was a great story. Miami playing at home. I mean, a lot of great storylines, but it's just kind of like it's just too long. You know, I've heard all kinds of proposals from people saying, "Look, get it done on New Year's Day."
Yeah. I mean, that's when the television belongs to college football. I mean, all anybody was talking about after that game was Josh Allen. I mean, come on. It's like, gee, NFL is just a tidal wave, and you can't fight it. You can't try to ride it. You've got to get out of the way and find another bay to go surf in, and that's right at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I mean, look how they bogarted Christmas from the NBA. I mean, the NFL just takes whatever it wants,
Yeah.
And so but I look at it, they have the venues already slotted out for the next few years. So I don't know if they can change the dates because those venues may have other events. And I mean, they have the leeway to do whatever they want to. I mean, there's really I don't know who's in charge. I don't know who's running things. It seems like you just make it up as you go now in college football. But I think the calendar would really help them because even on sports shows, like nobody was talking about the championship game because of the NFL.
Nobody even on ESPN was talking about it, and ESPN held the rights to it.
Right. Exactly. So they got they got to get that fixed. Got to get the schedule fixed. But in terms of the game, it turned out to be a really good game.
Yeah, anytime you got a final possession can change who's going to win the game. Yeah. That's pretty much all you can ask for. What really ruined it, Stan? Carson Beck. He won't go shake hands with people. Oh, my God. Oh, God, people, get off the Carson Beck won't shake hands. The NBA.
Wait, I don't understand. Does it bother you or does it not bother you? You think people are making?
No, it doesn't bother me at all. I could care less if he doesn't want to shake hands. Don't shake hands. I wouldn't want to shake hands after I got my ass whooped.
I have you as an old school sportsmanship guy, so this is a departure from where I would think you would be.
No, and then when I go shake hands, I shake hands and then I talk like this. Hey. Because everything I got to say so important that God.
Hey man, did you see that adult film star up in the crowd in the cutaway? Because
that got more
talking about.
That got more publicity than the lead up to the game. Oh my God.
Okay, so now, do you think that the camera guy, when they cut away, do you think that was an accident or was that done purposely?
It had to be done purposely because it was so quick. Somebody got nervous about boom. I mean, it was like that. Oh God. Go shake hands. Hey, let's all go shake hands.
I didn't know who she was. I had to ask several people.
Yeah.
But anyway, after the
look
game
at hockey.
itself.
Hockey, Stan. Hockey shakes hands. That's tradition.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. NBA. Listen, the NBA does it now, but listen, they didn't do it when it was Maurice Lucas and Daryl Dawkins or Bird and Magic. They weren't all hugging it out now, but now they all make so much money. They all play on the same AAU teams coming up. I mean, it's
they
just
all got
a big
condos
love
on South Beach,
Oh, it's just a love fest. It's nauseating.
But how about the job Curt Cignetti does?
Oh,
in revamping that program and losing his program in college football history, and now they're national champions, and he does it in 2 years, And I remember John Calipari, when John Calipari was signing all those one and dones when he was at Kentucky, and everybody was like, he's signing all these freshmen and, college basketball, and I think, like Duke wouldn't do it at first with Coach K, and then eventually, everybody started doing it because Calipari, I remember he made the speech and he said, look, we can deal with the world that should be where everybody stays 4 years and they graduate and they have a 4.0, or we can deal with the world that is, and that's these kids are eligible to go to the NBA at 19, so you get 1 year and that's it. I'm going to deal with what is, bring them in, coach them up, and have a lot of talent on my team. And eventually everybody came around to what he was doing. And so now Curt Cignetti, I think, is looking at what is in terms of the transfer portal and NIL and the way college football rosters are created now. And he created a roster that allowed him to turn things around very quickly. Went and got Mendoza from Cal, brought a lot of his guys from JMU who were very experienced players. And I think one of the things that's involved here now with this portal, I think you're going to see more and more teams looking for experience as much as they look for talent. Because if I have a team full of 18 and 19-year-olds and you got a team full of 22 and 23, 24-year-olds who already have their man muscles to a greater extent than my kids do, then you're gonna have an advantage. Even if they're not 5 stars, they're grown men.
yeah.
And I understand because I thought it was an Indiana thing, but apparently the last 2 years the national champions have had older squads, and so I think how many they're going to go in that portal. How many years have you played? 4? Okay, cool. We'll take you.
Yeah, Carson Beck 7. He played 7 years. Hey, we got to give a shout out, Stan. We got first time chatters. Cantor 808. How's it, brah?
What's up?
Moto, he said we're legends, and then he said Rip City, so he's right on two occasions. And then we got Boogaloo, first time chatter. So
Boogaloo, all right, welcome in.
Just found this on accident. Awesome. Listen, Cignetti, he's done a great job because he used the system to his advantage. And he's got Mark Cuban there, so you can't downplay his importance when you've got a program that's got a billionaire. Because the program I root for has got one.
Oregon,
but you still got to go out and win the game. It's you still got to go out and play it. And I love Cignetti. I love his quotes. It all started with Google me, I win. And then that everybody liked that one. And then the popping the beer comments on the post game, I think everybody liked that. There were a couple I hadn't heard, but I read, and I thought they were really life affirming or affirmations, positive affirmations. One, you get freedom of choice, but not freedom of consequence. People need to write that one down and pay attention to that. Because there's not enough people dealing with consequence these days. And the other is you keep your nose down in life and keep working. Anything is possible. And I think that's something that both Stan and I tell young people when we talk to them because, hey, man, we kept our nose down and we grinded. And we ended up doing pretty well at ESPN because of our work ethic. Wasn't anybody penciled us in or our uncle, worked there already. It was just it was a matter of working hard and getting after it and finding a taste of success. So I always say, hey man, if the people that want to do what we did or we, what we're doing, I said, hey man, if I can do it, anybody can do it because, I wasn't that focused, but once I got in the door, I became focused because once you get in that building, man, you want to be the best.
Yeah. Yeah. And, hard work that transcends industries. It transcends activity. Hard work is applicable pretty much in any endeavor. And so you have to believe that Cignetti hit all the right buttons. In addition to creating the roster that he wanted, he hit the right buttons to get the guys to go out and perform. And how about Mendoza? Okay, he's already got the trophy, but then he has his Heisman moment in the national championship game on that fourth down play when he took it and ran with it and ran through the defense, got to the end zone. I mean, that was a signature moment of his season, which had to be, I mean, a dream come true. Grew up in South Florida, right near the Miami campus, wanted to be a Cane, got snubbed, meets them in the national championship game, pivotal moment in the game. He's the Heisman Trophy winner, and he runs it in for a touchdown. I mean, that's storybook stuff. And he's become a cult figure along with Cignetti in this run because of his enthusiasm in the post-game interviews.
Yeah, he's had some media training. Looking at the camera right there, I'm looking at Luker on the chat here, first time chat, Luker, and then he subscribed. So
All right,
we're digging on that. Listen, Cignetti's a great story. 16-0 is a great story, but the best story, and it isn't Mendoza in that quarterback draw. It's Mendoza's relationship with his mother. That's the best story that came out of this whole thing. And I was privy to see some of that at the Heisman. The mother suffers from MS or deals with MS, wheelchair bound. The dad won't get up to stand to cheer because the mom can't. They hold hands the whole time. The son has gotten all his inspiration, or a majority of his inspiration, from his mom. I saw them lift her up and put her into a van in New York, and just the bond between, there were three sons there. The bond between the sons, the father, and the mother, man, it choked me up. Seeing it in person, it's really special. It's the most important thing in this whole discussion about Indiana and football and going to the Raiders and Cignetti and all that. This relationship this kid has with his mom is something that's beyond all of that.
Yeah, it was beautiful when they cut away and you see the father sitting down, and then you learn the story of why he's sitting down, and then you think about like the cards that life has dealt his mom physically in terms of the MS, but the love and the pride and everything that she got to feel this whole season, culminating in that night. I mean, you're right. It's beautiful. It really is beautiful.
Yeah.
And again, it's something that transcends football, transcends sport, because as I used to say on the air, maybe you never played in a college football national championship game, but you got a mom, and so we all can relate on that level, So
that story's the one I'll remember the most from this championship. And
but I think teams that try to replicate this, they're gonna run into some problems, because there was a COVID year involved. That got some guys an 8th or 9th year in college.
Yeah,
got them tenured. They were tenured as
Mr.
college football players.
Blutarski. Yeah.
So the COVID year, I would imagine there's nobody left who had a COVID year. But who knows? Who knows what the rules are?
Well, I just heard one guy. Well, I should have jotted it down, but I was driving. It was a kid just got an 8th year approved. So Carson Beck was the leader in the clubhouse with 7, but now this kid is getting 8. I can't remember his name or school, but
so they got COVID year, red shirt year. And then you got to just give him another 1 year. So yeah, but hopefully they'll put some sort of restrictions on that, because it's, you would hate to think that that's going to be a permanent part of college football moving forward, where younger players aren't going to get an opportunity to play at big-time programs because they have 22, 23, and 24-year-olds taking up all the spots. And so younger players are forced to go to places where they might not want to go just to be able to get on the field, because the rules allow for older and older players to play. And the other thing is, I mean, if you look at Dante Moore going back to Oregon, he's probably going to make more money as Oregon starter than he would on a rookie deal in the NFL, I would think, right?
I don't know. I heard that that's the rookie deal would make he's going to make $4 to $5 million. They say at Oregon. I think he's going to he would make more than that as a NFLer.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have to rush to go because he's going to make $4 or $5 million. He can go back.
And he doesn't have to go to he doesn't have to go to the Jets. So.
Which could be worth.
Although they may be in that position next year to take him.
Right.
So.
I saw somebody tweet, "Hey, look, we're going to remember this, Dante Moore. If you don't want to be with us when we're 3-14 this year, we're going to remember this when we're 3-14 next year."
Right.
We kid. Aaron Glenn's going to turn it around. Maybe they'll get an interception, at least one next year. We'll see. But Jets got a lot of picks, so we'll see what they do with them. But it's interesting. Do they go quarterback now? That's a big question. Do you go quarterback now and force the pick if you don't have a guy who's rated number 2? But we're way off the train here. Let's get back to this college football deal.
Yeah. I want to ask you a question.
Lane Kiffin's doing the same thing now at LSU. He is just working the portal like crazy. And every day it's like LSU has the number 1 edge rusher. LSU talking to the number 1 offensive tackle. LSU talking to they got Levitt from Arizona State already in the fold, and now the kid from USC, he's going as well. The other another quarterback. So he's got 2 guys who are highly sought after in the portal, both coming to LSU, and he's building an all-star team with guys from Mississippi who he had, the guys who were already there at LSU. Jordan Seaton, the big tackle from Colorado, he may be headed there. So Lane Kiffin, he's dealing with what is as opposed to what should be, and that's the wave of at least the near future until they get a handle on this. I saw there's already some talk of a potential salary cap. In college football, which I would think eventually they may need because this thing could really spiral out of control. Because you look, Miami now is going after Darian Mensah, the quarterback who started at Tulane, signed a contract to go to Duke for an NIL deal, played this year at Duke. Now he wants to leave and go to Miami. And Duke's like, hey, wait a minute, we got a deal through at least next season.
Yeah. The kid from Washington tried that as well.
Right.
Then when he realized he was going to get his ass sued by Washington, he turned around and went back. That's got to be fun in the locker room. Yeah. Follow the leader, the guy that tried to renege on his signed contract.
What he should do? When he gets back in the locker room, he should do like that kid on the commercial. Go Dogs! Go Dogs! Instead of barking at your boss, you bark at your coach. I'm back. Go Dogs! Yeah. So,
we got first-time chatters. Sam, we got first-time chatters. Okay. Green Rick, CKC TV, and Zim 266. We appreciate you, man.
Hey, thank you guys for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So we'll
I want to ask
Miami
you this.
Gets their quarterback.
I want to ask you this.
Okay.
Let's go because when's the last time the SEC won the title? I forget because I only go back 3 years in memory.
Yeah.
But I was hearing something on the radio, and they were just how the SEC and the SEC eats its own, and even though they get one less meal than everybody else, they don't play as many league games as everybody else. They never mention that. So I just thought, I'm going to write down the Big 18, and I'm going to write down the SEC 16, and let's go down the list and see just how big a discrepancy there is in a real program with real potential, or not living on Cam Newton at Auburn,
right?
Not living on that,
okay,
but living mostly in the present. And let's see if we agree or how much we disagree on if they're in or they're out. So I'll start with the Big 18.
So wait, in and they're out, or what? Of what?
Well, they're like, you think of them as a program that that is elite.
Okay, in the mix for a title, in the mix for the playoff, that kind of deal.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
right.
Okay. So I'm gonna start with the Big 18. Illinois is out.
And the Big 18 is Neil's numerically correct moniker for the Big 10, by the way.
Right, I'm just ahead of this curve on that.
Yeah.
Okay, Illinois, in or out?
Out.
Yeah. Indiana, obviously in.
Obviously in
Iowa.
because in this new landscape with Mark Cuban, anything's possible. And the portal.
Yeah.
And the ability to dump as much money as you want into it. I mean, they're in, yeah. Wouldn't have said that a few years ago.
Arcad 97, first time chatter. We dig you, brother. Okay, how about Iowa?
Out.
I have them out too. Maryland.
Out.
Out too. Michigan.
In.
Absolutely. I think Whittingham's I think they're gonna be back in a big way. He's a great coach.
They got unlimited pockets if they need it. They got 160,000 seat stadium. I mean, they're invested in the program. Yeah, they're in.
Yeah. What about Nebraska?
Out.
I got them out too. Northwestern.
Out.
Out. Ohio State in.
Penn State. Whole state's invested. They have, again, you don't know how the money in the portal is going to affect this, but my theory has always been it's a great high school football state. Every kid running around in the backyard is dreaming about playing for Ohio State. Every kid in the state. Nobody's dreaming about playing for Kent State or Toledo or Akron. Okay? Those are good programs in the MAC. But when you're a kid running around in the backyard, your dream is to be a Buckeye. And I don't think the current changes in college football are going to change that. And I think they can raise the dough they need to raise. So they're in.
Ohio State and Penn State are in. What about Purdue?
In. Out.
Out. Rutgers. Out.
Out.
Wisconsin.
Out.
Out. UCLA.
I don't think they can, I don't think they can come up with the cash that it's going to take to play. I don't know if the people at Wisconsin are that invested, or they have a big money alum who will say, bam, here's the checkbook. You know what I mean? The way a Cuban or Phil Knight or, the oil guys in Texas. I don't know if they have that. Maybe they do, and I don't know who it is, but I don't know if they have that. Proceed.
What about UCLA?
I think they have the potential for it. But there's so many things going on in LA. There's so many distractions that have nothing to do with college football. But they have some big money alums who they have to say, hey, you know what? Instead of building that addition to the fine arts school that's produced so many Hollywood directors, how about you give it to the football program? You know what I mean? So I think they have the potential to do it if they can drum up enough interest.
So I had UCLA out, USC in.
USC definitely in.
Yeah. Oregon's in.
Oregon definitely.
Washington.
Teetering, but in.
I got them in too.
Yeah.
Michigan
Teetering.
State.
Out.
Minnesota.
Out.
Okay, so the only one that's kind of hanging in the balance there is UCLA, but we've got Indiana, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, USC, Oregon, and Washington. Okay, so that's 7 out of 18.
Okay.
Let's go to the roughest, toughest. Oh my God, wet the bed conference. Okay,
it just means more. Neil.
I know, and they invented college football, so I understand. Alabama in, obviously. Arkansas
wants to be in, just not. I mean,
out.
they want
Auburn.
Where is the Walmart money when you need it? Where is the Walmart money when you need it, Arkansas? Talk to your people. This is the game now. Where's the Walmart money? I see those yellow stickers with low prices. Okay, we need some of that money for the football program if you're going to be in the game now.
We can't give you any money, but we can give you jobs as greeters when your eligibility runs out. We got, I just missed the name here. Sorry, this dude just subscribed. Hold on here. T. Walker, 500. Subscribed at Tier 1. They subscribed for 5 months. Currently on a 5-month streak. Thank you, T. Walker.
Thank you, T.
Okay, what about Auburn?
I mean, they care enough. Do they have the money? Do they have the boosters who are going to put the money down? I'm going to put Auburn sort of like Washington. Want to be in, but they got some work to do to rally the troops with the checkbooks.
Yeah, and this is like, are you scared to go play them right now too? You know, so
yeah.
I mean, are they a real? Yeah, they a real McCoy. Florida,
in.
I got them out. I'm not scared. Florida's had 4 coaches in the last 3 years. I mean, they're upside down.
I think they have enough people heavily invested in the program with money that they could turn it around. Now, they need a coach who can rally the boosters, because I think their problem is a lack of enthusiasm about the program. But okay. I mean, you know, this is I think there's still potential there. There's money. There's money there if they can inspire the people to give it.
All right, Georgia's obviously in. What about Kentucky?
Out.
LSU in. Mississippi in.
In for now. All
right.
In for now. I mean, they got a tremendous boost from Kiffin. Okay? But do they go back to what they were pre-Kiffin, or can they maintain it without him? Now, short term, I think they got mad money coming in now. We're mad at Kiffin. We're going to show him. We're going to write the check. Okay? So now, if Golding doesn't win, does that enthusiasm stay? Like, if they're not in the playoff next year, do people, it's kind of, back to what we were before, and there's not the same amount of enthusiasm. So they got to, in the short term, they got to get some results here to keep people enthused about it.
All right, Mississippi State out. Missouri.
They put together some good teams. You know, they're always better than you think they are. You know what I mean? You look up, you're like, wait, Missouri's 7-1? Teetering. I think they're teetering. I think they could potentially come up with the money if they need to do it. But they got to get a lot of enthusiasm behind the program. Eli Drinkwitz.
All right.
I got him out. He didn't leave, did he?
I got him out.
Leave. He stayed, didn't he?
I think so, Coach, but the fact Missouri's in the SEC is dumb enough. Okay. Oklahoma's in.
Yeah.
South Carolina.
Out. I mean,
Tennessee.
I mean, again, if you're gonna look, you can put 100,000 people in the stadium, then there's some enthusiasm behind your program, and they open the wallet to go after Nico.
They'll put 100,000. They'll put 100,000 people in the stadium at Nebraska too, but I'm not scared to go there anymore.
No, but Tennessee. I think they're teetering. It can go either way. But they need results on the field, because I don't know if they have one dude. I don't know if they have a Phil Knight or a Mark Cuban, or somebody who can say, I got it. Don't worry, I got us. You know what I mean? Maybe they do, but I'd say they're kind of teetering for relevancy here.
All right. The last two are two Texas schools, Texas and Texas A&M.
In. Both of them.
In. What about Vanderbilt?
In now.
Yeah. Okay.
They're in now. But again, they have to maintain it. Now, can you do that without Pavia? You know what I mean? Or was he such a program changer that while he's there, things are different, but the minute he leaves, it's gone. Now, I don't know how any of these guys are doing in the portal, because I can't really keep up. I know LSU's got everybody. and you see Mendoza's brother's transferring. His younger brother is already in the portal, and he's going to Georgia Tech, apparently.
Okay, so in the Big 18, we got 6 in, and 2 teetering.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
In the SEC, we've got
Just
7
needs more.
in.
Yeah.
And 4 teetering. So, I mean, it's like it's not as big a divide as it's made out to be.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Yeah.
And I think a part of the reason why is because, how honest do we want to be on this show?
Okay. You and me?
Yeah. And all of our closest friends here. Okay. NIL is the above board method that the SEC has been using below board for years. Okay. Now, I don't think I'm breaking any news there. I think anybody who follows college football, really follows college football, and not just, shows up and watches the game on Saturday, but really follows it, knows that, there've been some kids whose financial situation changed a lot when they went to one of those fine institutions in the SEC long before NIL. Okay. Now, anybody can do it. You can do it above board. And it's changed the game along with the transfer portal, because essentially you have created unfettered free agency in college football, and there are practically no limits on NIL spending. So then, that's a totally different scenario than we had just a few years ago. And so there are some teams that are some programs that are going to capitalize on that, figure it out very quickly, the way Cignetti with Mark Cuban's money, the way they figured it out and said, hey, let's play the game that we're playing now, not the game that we've played all these other years. And so that's what it is for now. Now, it's going to change, because I can't imagine, it's going to get to the point where, oh, yeah, this, freshman quarterback at, Big State U signs for $20 million. You know what I mean? I just have a hard time believing it's going to get that far out of control before somebody says, no, we can't do that. But if nobody steps in, if Congress doesn't step in, or some sort of regulating body steps in and says, okay, we got to put the brakes on this, who knows where it could go, But right now, you got to give Indiana credit for playing the game that is, and playing it to their best advantage and winning the national championship.
We got Spanish Steph on the chat. Dig her. And Akane's Paradise, first-time chatter. So,
all right.
There we go. We got, let's move on to the games at hand, because we could talk about this all day, and nobody wants to listen to us all day. Okay, before we talk about the games that are going to be, let's talk about the games that were, and let's start with the Patriots Broncos. I believe that's our first one. Yeah, Patriots Broncos.
So wait, we're going to talk about the games coming up, or we're going to talk about the games that were before?
No, Broncos Bills. I'm sorry,
Broncos Bills. All right.
Yeah.
Josh Allen. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody's been talking about it. Look, this was a golden opportunity for him. It really was. No Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson, no Burrow. He was the best quarterback left in the AFC. No doubt about it. And he didn't get it done. And the team didn't get it done in a large measure because of his mistakes. And so it's weird, the discourse around him, though, because it's kind of like everybody sees the talent, right? And so they say, oh, yeah, this guy, he's a great player. But the talent, the production hasn't matched the talent in the postseason. And I think that's the disconnect. I think some of the people who are talking about Josh Allen in all these glowing terms, oh, he's the greatest player ever, they're looking at the talent. And then the people who say, how could you possibly put him ahead of Mahomes and say he's a better player than Mahomes, they're looking at results. Okay? And so they're both right in a sense, because there's no arguing his talent in terms of a runner and a passer, okay? But that talent has not produced Super Bowl championships. It hasn't produced a Super Bowl appearance yet. And so he's at a point in his career where you have to start wondering, what's it going to take for him to get there? Okay? So now they had this bizarre press conference this morning. I don't know if you saw that. But the coach has been fired, And it looks like the GM made a power play to say, hey, it wasn't me, it was him. The roster was fine. He just didn't coach him up right. I mean, it is essentially what the organization is saying, that the coach has to take the rap for it. And I don't know if that's necessarily true or not, because the coach has had as much success with Josh Allen as Josh Allen has had. And so, I don't know if another coach going in there is going to have any more security than Sean McDermott had, because clearly as an organization, they are saying what we have done so far is not good enough. So the new coach has to come in with the expectation that you have to get to a Super Bowl or you're going to be gone like McDermott, and you're not going to last as long as McDermott, because Josh Allen may not have as long now. I think he's turning 30 now. So they're not going to wait this long for this. So this coach is going to be under as much pressure or more than McDermott was, with less time to get it done. So, and they're in a very competitive coaching carousel market right now. So how attractive is that job with the Bills?
That's an attract. What's a more attractive job? Josh Allen and Cook and new stadium in Buffalo, or Lamar and Derrick Henry in Buffalo, and Lamar and Derrick Henry in Baltimore?
Again, I would have said Bills automatically before that news conference today. That news conference today, I'm kind of like, hey, man, obviously, when you're the new coach, it's going to be on you 100%. And you're going to have to do what. And if Joe Brady leaves, I think Joe Brady's a fantastic coach. I think he's going to be a fantastic head coach. I think he's one of the bright young offensive minds in the league. And if he leaves as offensive coordinator and now you bring in a totally new system, I mean, that offense is not broken. They may need a couple of players. They may need a couple of receivers, but that's not on the coach, and the GM came out and said, they appear to believe that they totally missed with Keon Coleman. Okay.
Yeah.
But the owner says that it was the coaches who wanted Keon Coleman, and the GM had to be talked into it. And he went along with it. So, okay, so now you're saying the coach also, if he chimes in on evaluations, he better be right about that too. So the new coach is coming in with all the pressure on him to produce, because it's clear that, like, hey, Brandon Beane and the owner, Pagula, they're on the same page. And so you better be on the same page with them, and you better get it done, because it's all on you. Now, is that the same situation in Baltimore? Because Harbaugh, when he went to New York, he wanted to make it clear that he would report to ownership and not just to the GM. So I don't know what the structure the new coach is going to face in Baltimore. I don't know what that looks like, what kind of power that coach is going to have, and what kind of pressure of expectations they're going to have in the short term. But in Buffalo, it's a short-term expectation. Like, get it done now. And so everybody's got to learn a new system, you would think, unless the new coach comes in and maintains Joe Brady as offense coordinator. So, I mean, we'll see. How about Texans Patriots? What'd you have on that one? Well, we didn't even talk about the Broncos.
Yeah.
Broncos, they got now they're not going to have their quarterback.
Well, and plus, I got to say, listen, for defending Josh Allen from a little bit of what you said.
Yeah.
He didn't let the Chiefs score with 13 seconds left.
Right.
Okay, and he didn't stop goes third with 2:30 and let Bo Nix find a first down, and he didn't make the interception call that changed the game. So he did not have a good game, but
no,
at all. But but the roster, that's on the GM. The fact they kept the GM made me think, wow, they're not seeing all that I'm seeing in terms of roster accountability, because that's not on the head coach, that's on the GM. So
yep.
All right.
They never fixed the run defense. The run defense was bad all season. And they definitely look, if they are going to give up on Coleman, and the way they threw him under the bus this morning, you would think his agent is on the phone like, hey, look, man, you guys don't like him, we get it, trade him, cut him, do something, but he can't go back in that locker room now. after he becomes one of the scapegoats now for the team. So we'll see how that goes moving forward. We'll see who takes that job and what the understanding is when they take it. But kudos to Denver, the 1 seed. They were rested. They were healthy. With the exception of J.K. Dobbins, who might be able to come back this week. But now they don't have Bo Nix. They're going to go Jarrett Stidham. We'll talk about Broncos Patriots and what that means in just a minute. But let's talk about Texans Patriots now. Similar situation for C.J. Stroud. Just a nightmare of a game for him, especially in the first half.
Yes, and before I want to say that from Virginia said, Stan the man, Norfolk misses you.
All right. Hey, look, Norfolk, you can still tune in right here. I miss Norfolk too. 757, nothing but love, VA, 2 up, 2 down. Appreciate the shout out.
And Zach subscribed for 1, so we appreciate. It's too, the Texans have got a really nice thing going, but they've also got a CJ Stroud issue. It's a lot like Carolina and Bryce Young. Those two went 1-2 in 2023. And now are you going to plant your flag with either of those guys to lead your franchise and give them, $50 million a year, or just play out the 5th-year option and don't give them the extension? Stroud's the only one who had a worse game than Josh Allen. Right. I mean, he was brutal, and they couldn't run the ball, and so there's another case of a GM has got to put some better players around that quarterback, because they got the defense is we're fine defensively,
right?
We're more than fine.
Yep.
And the Drake May, we could put the brakes on the second coming of Tom Brady. They won the game, but he was not all that either. But listen, the Patriots have got a groove going right now, and you can't have C.J. Stroud play that kind of game. You can't have Jarrett Stidham play that kind of game, or the Patriots are going to the Super Bowl. It's that simple. They're too well coached. They're too dialed in right now.
I think the players on the Patriots defense looked at all the talk about the Texans defense and all the talk about the Broncos defense and said, hey, wait a minute, man. We're pretty good on that side of the ball too. And I think they took that personally. And I think they went in and performed with that in mind. And I think C.J. Stroud was the unfortunate opponent in that situation. Look, I think total body of work, I think the Texans stay with Stroud, but he's on a much shorter leash now. I think he's got a. Yeah. He definitely has a. You get a little bit of a pass. You don't have Nico Collins. So you get a little bit of a pass, but I think it's a prove-it year next year for him, where I don't know if it would have been a prove-it year for him next year without this kind of performance. I think you mentioned Bryce Young. They're not in it anymore. I think Bryce Young answered the questions he needed to answer, and I think Carolina's going to make a commitment to him, which I didn't feel that way going into this season. I think this year for him, but I think he proved enough for them to say, okay, we can work with this. They got him Teteroa McMillan, and they got a good thing going there. And so they'll get him some more skill position players. They can run the ball, with Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard. So I think they have enough there where they're like, we can run it back with what we get more players. Maybe another tight end or another receiver, but they got Leggett. He's pretty good. So, I think Carolina's going to be okay. But looking ahead to Broncos Patriots, you have Jarrett Stidham going for the Broncos on the road against that Patriots defense, which is in a zone right now. What do you see there?
Well, Stidham was supposed to be the second coming of Tom Brady. They drafted him to follow Brady. Why the hell they ever let Brady go to Tampa Bay? That's still a great mystery. Stidham, he wasn't even so Brady leaves. Stidham's not even the first. He's not the starter. He's not even the first backup. He's the third stringer. That's how far he fell down on that depth chart behind Cam Newton and Brian Hoyer. So listen, the guy in 2 years, Stan, he's been for one play, and that was to take a knee. Okay. He's not thrown a pass in an NFL game for 2 years. But Sean Payton has a lot of confidence in him, and you got to have a lot of confidence in Sean Payton. So I don't think I don't think he's blowing smoke up people's ass. I really think that he thinks Stidham is quite the student of the game, and somebody. Listen, only one team can win it all, and only one player can start at quarterback. It doesn't mean that there's not another really good team. It just finished second, or there's not another really good quarterback. He just happens to be behind the first string quarterback. So he's got a chance to be the least experienced. He will be, the least experienced quarterback to ever start a conference championship game. He'll take over the record. He's got 4 games. The record was 5, of the fewest, and that was Jeff Hostetler in 1990, who then led the Giants to the Super Bowl and a win. So and won it.
Okay,
so
and you go back and look at Sean Payton and what he did without Drew Brees. Winning record with Teddy Bridgewater, winning record with Taysom Hill, winning record with Jameis Winston. Okay, so Sean Payton has a really, really good feel for what his quarterbacks can and can't do, and he puts them in position to succeed. When he put Taysom Hill in, he didn't say, hey, go out there and beat Drew Brees. He said, no, go out there and beat Taysom Hill. So they ran a lot of RPOs. They ran a lot of design runs for the quarterbacks, and they did what it took to win with what Taysom Hill could do. Same thing with Jameis Winston. Same thing with Teddy Bridgewater. So you go back and look at the numbers. The numbers might not jump out at you, but the wins do. And so different case this week because he's only got 1 week, to get this guy ready, but he sounds confident. And if he sounds confident, you got to give him the benefit of the doubt and say he's going to have the guy ready. I mean, I don't think in any situation he would go out and say, "Oh, this guy sucks. We're going to lose." You know what I mean? But it sounds like it's a sincere confidence. It doesn't sound like it's just coach speak to prop the guy up and he's scared to death, balled up in the corner of the facility, crying real tears thinking about the Patriots defense. It sounds like he's got real confidence in him. But the Patriots defense. Then I think Drake May's going to settle down, got some playoff experience under his belt, going to be at home again. I think he's going to settle into a groove, which he has to if they're going to get past that Denver defense, because they will come at you in waves.
1993, I was the sports information director at Hawaii Pacific. We were in the NAI National Tournament in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And our best player got hurt after the second game, or during the second game. You got to win 5 games to win the title. And I remember the coach the next morning going into the team breakfast and saying, "I don't want to hear any excuse that we lost Roger, and so we got no chance." And he's dressing down his players that losing Roger, who was the best player, Roger Huggins, that wasn't going to affect what was going to happen. And then he walked out of the breakfast. He walked by me and he looked at me and he goes, "We're so screwed." And and Hawaii Pacific went on and won 3 more games in a row and won the national championship with the best player in street clothes.
Hey, so look, he didn't believe it, but he made the players believe it.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters,
Yep. So shout out to Coach Salido. All right, 49ers, Seahawks. What do you think there?
All those injuries finally caught up with the 49ers. I mean, it was just when Kittle went down, you're like, okay, now it gets really, really hard because you got Purdy and McCaffrey and Juwan Jennings and just Pearsall. I mean, they didn't scare that Seattle defense with what they had. And I think Seattle went in knowing if we don't screw this up, we got this, and they didn't screw up. They played a solid football game. I think it just kind of caught up. It caught up with San Francisco. I mean, Kyle Shanahan deserves a lot of credit for getting them to that point with all the losses that they had. But it just caught up to them. And Seahawks are a really good team. They're a really good team. I saw them up close and personal when they put a whooping on the Saints early in the season. I was like, man, this team's pretty good. This team is pretty good. And they are. And you know, we will see how they do in their third meeting with the Rams. But I was really impressed with the Seahawks. The biggest question for them, I thought, was Sam Darnold and ball security, and he answered those questions. And so I don't see a real serious weakness for them. They got the Charbonnet injury to deal with. We'll talk about that in a minute when we get to the matchup. But looking back to last week, I thought they played a really solid game and put them away right from the start. I mean, Rashid Shaheed, great pickup. Clint Kubiak knew exactly what he was getting from their time in New Orleans together last year. They added him an influx of speed, not only as a kick returner, but on offense too. And like right off the bat, he takes that kick to the house, get him the early lead. And that place to play, trying to come from behind with that crowd and that defense, tough to do. And the 49ers they did all they could. They just didn't have the horses anymore.
Yeah, when a dude runs back the opening kickoff, it's usually indicative of what's going to happen. Similar feeling when the first play of the game is a pick six for the other team, it's usually not a good sign.
No,
so
no, not a good sign.
Lejare, first time chatter. We want to shout out him. We got Athletic LT going with How's It? Nice. Zim,
right.
Go Hawks. All right, Rams Bears before we get to Rams Hawks. I thought Caleb Williams showed us that he is a playoff Caleb with that fourth down game on the line throw before overtime. I mean, come on. Now, I almost thought, I'm sure the analytics tell you otherwise, but you almost thought, you know what, Ben Johnson, go for two right here. The house is rocking. The momentum's right there. End this thing right now. He didn't, obviously, tied it, then had a shot in overtime. The pick, I thought DJ Moore really quit on that route.
He did. He did. Really, it's a shame.
He really slowed down and didn't, and he either didn't go across the face like he was supposed to, but there was no, like, you can question which route he ran, but you can't question whether he slowed down. That was evident watching the film.
Yeah, I think he gave up on the play before Caleb did. And then realized, oh, wait, he's still up. You know what I mean? So, and then it was too late. I mean, Caleb has gotten Bears fans believing, that they finally have a quarterback for the first time since Sid Luckman. they actually have a quarterback now. And, look, with all the Bulls' success, with all the good feelings about the Cubs ending the drought when they won the World Series, that whole thing, it is still a Bears town, far and away. And that's a great place to be a football star in Chicago. And Caleb Williams seems like a guy who can handle it, who's ready to deal with the responsibility that brings. And we've got a quirky personality, it seems, but at the same time, when it's time to put the helmets and pads on, he goes out there and he makes magic. And, they came up a little bit short, but there were a lot of questions about, is he the guy? I mean, the question they keep asking over and over and over again in Chicago. Do we have the guy finally? I think they have the guy finally, and now they can build it with that in mind, knowing, okay, we got our guy at quarterback, and he looks like a guy who's only going to get better. I mean, it doesn't look like this was a flash in the pan this year. It looks like he's going to get better. And so
I heard they gave him a standing ovation when the game was over. I heard the fans at Soldier Field stood up and gave him a standing ovation. And Luker wants us to, hey, don't forget about Chicago Blackhawks and their dynasty.
Exactly.
You see our boy Jonathan Taves came back playing for the Jets, and they may still be standing for him. They gave him a huge ovation.
Don't tase me, bro.
That was really, that's why I brought that up, just so you'd say that.
Yeah, I mean, but look, it's that they had a couple of camera shots of Soldier Field, like from behind, and you could see the city skyline in the background, and like I've been there when the Saints lost in 2006. They lost the NFC Championship game, and I was jealous because they won the game, but I was jealous of the atmosphere too. I mean, they were having a great time. You know what I mean? And everybody was into it. I mean, they love football, and so it's an exciting time for the Bears, and I think they can't wait. I'm sure they wish the season started tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. Well,
but the Rams won it. But the Rams won it.
And now they get the Seahawks again. So the third time.
Because wait, I got to say this. Lost in that Caleb Williams throw was that Matthew Stafford throw to Devontae Adams on the sideline.
Oh, yeah.
Where he threw it across the field, hit him in the perfect spot for him to be able to get 2 feet down. I mean, look, it didn't have the same amount of drama as a Caleb Williams play, but it was every bit as good of a throw, and every bit as good of an indication of quarterback play, and that's why he's the MVP.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Good call on that. All right, yeah. Rams living on the edge at Carolina, then at Chicago. Well, the Seahawks just destroyed the 49ers. Seahawks have not – what did I write it? Seahawks have given up just 2 touchdowns since week 13 to all teams not named the Rams. They've given up 6 total, 4 to the Rams, only 2 others. That's 7 games, 6 touchdowns, 0 given up in the last 2 games against the 49ers. That's a hell of a stat for that defense.
Yeah, but they're not playing any of those other teams. They're playing the Rams.
Yeah.
So it's look, that defense, I really like what they've done. I mean, like, who's the star of that defense? Exactly. It's everybody.
Yeah.
It's everybody.
Yeah.
They're solid everywhere. It's not, you don't look at one guy and say, okay, that guy's getting it. I mean, that defense is just solid everywhere on every level, and they play together. Mike McDonald, I mean, that was a home run of a hire for them as a head coach. And Clint Kubiak, I was sold those first 2 weeks when he was with the Saints last year, before all those guys got hurt. What the Saints did the first 2 weeks last year was fantastic. And with what he has to work with on that Seahawks offense, I think they got a pretty good shot. They got a pretty good shot. They're at home, but the Rams, Stafford and Nakua and Devontae Adams, who is, you get in the red zone, Devontae Adams will get you a touchdown. Nakua is going to do everything else in the middle of the field. Okay, and they got 2 backs, which Seattle had, but now they got the Charbonnet injury.
Oh. Yeah, that's tough.
And that's almost like a player and a half, because you not only don't have him, but Kenneth Walker can't stay as fresh as you would like to without a drop-off to somebody else. You put Charbonnet in there, kind of interchangeable, different skill sets to a certain degree, but both very dependable, productive backs. And the most important thing about Charbonnet, he had 12 rushing touchdowns. So in the middle of the field, he came in on third downs and passing situations mostly, okay? But then when they got in the red zone, he was the hammer, got him in. A lot of 1- and 2-yard touchdowns for him. So, they're going to have Cam Akers, former Ram, has a chance to stick it to his former team. They got Velus Jones, so we'll see what they do when Kenneth Walker's not in the game. Walker was fantastic last week. And I think he's good as a workhorse back, but you got to get him a blow sometimes. And so I think that's one of the keys to the game. But I think Kubiak is going to run Rashid Shaheed on some jet sweeps, some reverses, that kind of thing, to get him a little bit more involved in the run game, because he's so fast and because it's something that he's done, in his short career. He's been effective doing that. So the cupboard isn't totally bare, but they're going to have to use a little bit of creativity, especially because you don't want to get limited and have to deal with that Rams pass rush. Limited in the run game, have to deal with that Rams pass rush. What do you see in that game?
Okay, you're going into the playoffs. You can have either the number 1 scoring offense or the number 1 scoring defense. Which one do you want?
Defense.
Here's a stat. This will be the 35th playoff meeting all time between a number 1 scoring offense, that's the Rams, and a number 1 scoring defense, that's the Seahawks. 35th time this has happened.
What's the record in the first 34?
17-17.
Wow. Man, that's a great find. Wow.
Yeah, that's a Rams wire I found that on. So that's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
then it comes down to, okay, well, do you have all your guys? And one of the things, I said about the Seahawks, like, they were healthy. You know, they had the abdominal thing with Darnold, and that was a kind of a question mark going into the game, but he was fine. And so, I was like, hey, man, they got all their guys. And health is a big part of it. That's why they beat the 49ers. It wasn't a fair fight. 49ers didn't have all their guys. I mean, you play with whoever you got in depth and yada, yada, next man up, yada, 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 okay? But there's a reason why one guy's on the bench, the other guy's the starter, okay? And Seattle's had all their guys. Now they don't have all their guys because they don't have Charbonnet. So does that, in a game that looks like it could be close, is that something that helps decide the game?
Well, that's why they'll play and find out. They played twice this season, split home. Last plays of the game, pretty much both games. Rams, if you add up the scores, the Rams won 58-57.
Wow.
And if you add up the total yards, the Rams won 830 to 829.
Wow. That's close as it can get. So then you start thinking about home field. You know what I mean? It's home field and health. I mean, really, because when they're that evenly matched. And what's today? January 21st. So next year, the college football playoff game won't even be done yet.
Right.
It won't even be done yet. Right? And like everybody's going to be talking about the championship games. Fix that, college football. Fix that. Do yourself a favor. Fix it.
You brought up last week, is it going to be Sam Darnold or Same Darnold? And if it's the same Matthew Stafford, that's got to be the big advantage for the Rams. I mean, he's on a heater right now. And he's good in the playoffs. He's 7-2 with the Rams. Darnold finally gets his first playoff win, but the back of Stafford's football card is much more impressive than the back of Sam Darnold's, and that could be the difference in this one, I think.
But that game against Carolina, it just kind of sticks out to me. I mean, like maybe that's an aberration. The regular season game, not the playoff, the regular season game. It's like, okay, I'm sure Seattle's taking a long look at that tape and trying to figure out what did Carolina do to make him uncomfortable and cause him to turn the ball over. Because realistically, that's his only bad game the whole season, really. I mean, he had the 3 picks. I think he only had, 8 the whole season? I think he was 46-8, 46 touchdowns, 8 picks, and he had 3 in that one game against Carolina. I believe. I could be wrong, but it was a bad game against Carolina when they lost to the Panthers. So sure, Seattle's looking at that tape this week to figure out what they did to make him uncomfortable. But when you look at that Rams offense, I mean, they have everything, and they've been going to that 3 tight end formation where they're in a good position strategically, personnel-wise, to run the ball, but then they can also throw it because their tight ends are such great pass catchers, and McVay can really dial it up. You got 2 backs, and you have 2 really, really good veteran receivers who can get the job done in Nakua and Devontae Adams. I mean, if the Rams play to their capability, then Seahawks. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great game. I think it's going to live up to everything you quoted there about how close it is, what history tells us, and also what their shared history this season tells us. I think you're dead on. It's going to be that close, I think. Yeah. That's why we watch it.
There you go.
And that's why college football should stop before they get to this point. You don't want to compete with this. You don't want to compete with this. It's too compelling.
Yeah. The NFL is just a steamroller. I mean, it's, everything about television has changed over the years, except the NFL. It's changed, but it's just because it's gotten more popular. But you don't have the weekly show that you watch on CBS anymore.
No, you can TiVo it, or you can record it.
Yeah,
and watch it whenever you want.
But the NFL is appointment viewing.
Yeah,
and it just keeps drawing more and more people. It's crazy, man. It is.
Nobody wants to watch the game later. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to record the game and watch it later. Everybody wants, especially like when you got 2 games like this of this magnitude for a trip to the Super Bowl. It's an event, and it's more than just a sporting event. It's a cultural event now. And there's a lot of reasons for just some of it is just good fortune. But if you think about it, okay, during the regular season in the NFL, okay, you got a window on Sunday afternoon, okay? So let's say you're the pious type, you go to church, get out of church, boom, there it is, the game's on. What else do you do on Sunday? If you go to church, you come home, you watch the game, or you go to the game, okay? Let's say you're a heathen and you go out partying all night. By the time you get up and shake off the hangover, boom, the game's on. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's a great window, that Sunday afternoon window. Okay? Now, let's say times are hard. You don't have a lot of money. Okay? Get yourself some food, turn the game on TV, you watch it, you have a fantastic day watching football, eating takeout, eating something you cooked, whatever. Let's say you want to be a part of the experience, but you're not really wealthy, okay? So then you buy a nosebleed ticket and you go and you're there and you're experiencing the game. You're not balling out of control, but you're there. You're a part of the event. Maybe you tailgate outside, you know what I mean? But you make it cost efficient. Let's say you got a little bit more dough. You want to have a little bit more of a premium experience. Okay, well, you get a better ticket, either a club level ticket or down near field level, and then you're not only there, but you're there in a good seat, good sight lines, better concessions in a lot of situations. Okay, let's say you're a big baller. Okay, you want to entertain your friends, you get a suite. Okay, and you can entertain all your friends, entertain your business clients, or whatever, So at every price point, you can be a part of it and enjoy it at whatever your level is. They're conscious of that and they market it well. And it's a part of American culture now. It's bigger than just a sport, Like they said in the movie Any Given Sunday, they own a day of the week.
Well, and that's it. I heard Bob Costas on the radio say today, every NFL playoff game is like a game 7 of the World Series because the loser, you're out.
Right.
So
right.
everyone is, Yeah.
And then you get to the postseason, okay?
Yeah.
When the weather gets bad on the East Coast and people are forced inside, and now you're at the best part of your season with the most drama, so your audiences only pick up. Like this weekend, if people have power, I hope everybody makes out okay with this storm. But nobody's going to be outside this weekend doing anything on the East Coast, especially and in the Midwest with this storm. So everybody's going to watch this game, again, assuming they have power, and we hope, everything turns out okay. But it's such a good setup in so many ways for the NFL, and it speaks to its popularity.
You know what Crossover XD says about football, Stan? He says it was at its best when Neil and Stan were still on TV. My man, Crossover.
Hey,
and then we got
the computer's very similar to your TV, or you can plug your computer into your TV, and then we're still there on TV. But we appreciate the sentiment.
We got a first-time chatter, and I'm 8-bit Ash. Not happy the Packers extended Matt LaFleur, but we appreciate you being on. All right, let's move on to these coaches, okay, real quick.
Yeah.
We're getting toward. Okay, we got 10 teams that have changed coaches.
Yep.
6 have still yet to hire.
Yeah.
And we talked about Buffalo and we talked about Baltimore. I think that's stable ownership, organization. I think the Steelers is stable organization. The other 3 are just unstable. I mean, Vegas, unstable. Browns, unstable. Cardinals, unstable. Let me see that. That's 3, 6. Oh yeah, I got 3 unstable, not 4.
Yeah.
The
Cardinals. I mean, that's got to be the least attractive of the positions.
Yeah.
We'll see what they do, and it's a terrible time if you're not a really attractive job. It's a terrible time to be looking for a head coach if you don't have a really attractive job to offer, because a third of the league is out there.
Yeah.
A third of the jobs are available, and so. If I'm a coach, if I'm an attractive candidate, I got a lot of choices to choose from, Like Alex, I'm the prettiest girl in school and it's prom week. So, I don't know what the Cardinals do. The Raiders, I think Brady's going to be a factor in this. I think Tom Brady's going to be a factor in this. And I think it'll be smart for Davis. What's his name? Mike Davis? What's his first name?
Al Davis's son.
Yeah.
That's what I call
Mark
him.
Davis.
Mark Davis.
Yeah. I think it'll be smart for him to have Brady really involved in this process. The way you see Atlanta brought Matt Ryan back, to be involved in the process. And now who's Aikman's with the Dolphins, right?
Yeah.
Aikman's involved with the Dolphins. And so I think Brady's gonna play a role in this. I think he was there at the championship game, watching Mendoza. So I think Brady's going to have a hand in it, and I think that's a smart thing. So that the Raiders' job is not, I don't think it's terrible. And then I saw some rumor, again, it's on the internet. Take it with a grain of salt. I don't remember whether the source was credible or not. But I saw some rumors about Brady being interested in trading for Lamar Jackson. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it.
Well, if it's on the internet, it must be true.
It must be true. But yeah, it's I don't think the cupboard is buried because you got running back from Boise State.
Genty.
Yeah, Ashton Genty. Brock Bowers is maybe the best tight end in the league.
Monster tight end. Got
on
Max
his way
Crosby
there, you know what I mean?
Defense.
So you got to get a quarterback. But I don't think the cupboard's totally bare there. I mean, they're in a very tough division now because you got to figure Kansas City's going to come back. You got the Chargers and the Broncos to deal with now in that division, so it's no picnic there. But, I would imagine guys wouldn't mind living in Vegas. NFL players wouldn't mind living in Vegas. If you're a rich young guy, famous, Vegas is a good place to live. For young NFL players. So I don't think the coverage. It's just Arizona, they're gonna have to find somebody who a first timer who really wants a job, or a guy who wants another chance. But they're not. This
is great
last.
Weather down here, man.
Yeah, they're picking last.
Yeah.
What do you think about some of these fits? Harbaugh in New York.
Yeah, great. I mean, Harbaugh in New York will be fine. Stefanski in Atlanta will be fine.
Wait. So Stefanski thing. Have you seen what's coming up with the Stefanski thing?
No, what?
Okay, so Deion Sanders is a Falcons legend.
Yeah.
Okay. And Stefanski had Shador.
Yeah.
And so there are people who are Deion Sanders fans who are, by extension, Shador Sanders fans who don't like Stefanski because of the situation with Shador. And so they already have a thing against Stefanski as he takes over the job in Atlanta, like, whatever. And so, it's not an X and O thing. It's kind of a vibe. It's kind of a vibe thing. You know what I mean? Kind of a vibe thing. But I've seen Killer Mike, the rapper, who's a big guy in Atlanta. He's been on social media about it. And then Luther Campbell, Uncle Luke from Miami, he posted about it because he's tight with Deion and the whole thing. So, he may have some PR to do there to win over some of the fans. I'm not saying it makes sense. Okay, I'm not saying it. I'm just telling you there's been a vibe thing among some of the fans. Like, hey,
it'll fix it.
Winning.
If Stefanski goes and shakes hands with those guys, okay, that'll fix it.
like Carson Beck should have done, right? Just go shake hands. Fixes everything.
Okay, hey, shout out to Corn Doggy.
Yeah,
A-Town's finest. And how about Lakodak James? What a name. Which brings us to LeBron James. I mean, Stan, can they throw an all-star game and not have LeBron James start it? I mean, is that even possible?
Yeah, it's against the rules. I think they amended that rule maybe 10 years ago where he's still in the league, he has to be an all-star starter. I would imagine there may be some guys who offer him their spot. I mean, it happened with Michael Jordan back in the day when Jordan was no longer an all-star starter caliber player. The people, hey man, this is Michael Jordan. If he's here, he's starting. He's not coming off the bench. So we'll see how it goes with LeBron. But I mean, I'm not gonna say LeBron is over it, but I think he understands. You know what I mean? I think he understands that this is not gonna last. Nothing lasts forever. And, he's still there and he's still LeBron James. But, there are other guys who, quite frankly, deserve it more. They've earned it more. And so, will they do something special? I mean, he's got the patch now. You heard about the patch. He's got the patch commemorating his 23rd season that he's wearing on his uniform, and that's a LeBron thing. You know what I mean? Because nobody's
ever played. He's the only
one
who does it?
Yeah. But, I mean, nobody's ever played 23 years. And I don't know if they did that. I mean, like, it happened relatively recently. I don't know if they did that. Hey, he's not going to be an all-star starter. Let's give him a patch. I don't know. I don't know what But at the same time, I look, he's going to be there. He'll be saluted because is it his last one? Who knows? You know what I mean? But you can't take the chance that it's not his last one. So you have to honor him. It's here in L.A. I mean, it's at Intuit Dome, the Clippers arena, but it's still L.A. You know what I mean? So I would think there's going to be something special for him just in case this is the last time. And so I think he'll be okay not being a starter. Or maybe they go 6-on-6. They changed the rule to get him in. Maybe they go 6-on-6. Who knows? But I think it was last year. He didn't even play, but he didn't give up his spot. So he didn't even suit up. Yeah, but he didn't even give up his spot so they could bring in another guy could be an all-star. I thought that was kind of weird. I mean, you want to be a part of it. And if they voted you in, but you're not playing. So, so now you're going to be in street clothes. I mean, the game is irrelevant. So if the game was relevant, that would be a bigger deal because now you're down a man. There's a great article. Have you read this on ESPN.com? Baxter Holmes. No, about the Lakers. I have it bookmarked to read it. Oh, but I read it yet. Yeah, I heard it. Yeah, good. Pardon me. It's about all the infighting and everything with the Lakers. Yeah, and there's a little LeBron genie bus part there where, like, she's had enough LeBron James. Yeah, it was very very interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think Father Time's undefeated, and LeBron's fought him off for a long time, but he's still coming for LeBron too. And a part of it is you don't get elected a starter the way you did when you were younger, even not that much younger. Things happen at 38 and 39. It don't happen at 40 and 41. So, I think he gets it. I mean, he's done enough. I mean, he's done enough where I think he gets it. Is Kawhi Leonard an all-star this year? He should be. No question. Kawhi Leonard and James Harden should both be all-stars. No question about it. Oh, no. You don't get two guys. What? No. Oh, you don't get two guys. You're not even 500, are you? Okay. You can't have two guys. Okay, let me ask something. If Jokic is healthy, is he an all-star? Probably. Is Jamal Murray an all-star? Is Denver over 500? Yes. Okay, but those two are the only duo outscoring Kawhi Leonard and James Harden. Okay? What Kawhi Leonard has done this season merits an all-star selection. There's no question about it. No, James Harden, but then, no question about it. Now, a part of the reason why the Clippers are 19-24 now, but they're 19 after a 6-21 start. 6-21, and Kawhi was out for, I believe, 10 or 11 of those games. Okay, they went 6-21, and now they're 19-24, largely on the strength of those two guys. Now, some of the young guys have had their moments. John Collins has helped out some, but it's been Kawhi Leonard and James Harden. Okay, Kawhi's got a 55-point game. So does Harden. So far this season, look up what they have done. Their scoring averages in the games that they've played. There's no question in my mind. Now, it's a very top-heavy team, and that's been a part of the problem. That it's a lot of games. It's those two and not a whole lot else. No disrespect to the other guys because everybody's got a role to play, but they should definitely both be all-stars. Now, I don't think either one of them should start, but I think they should both come off the bench. No, you get one of them. You don't get two. You put Jeremy Grant in over them? What are you doing? No, I'm putting Denny Avdia in over James Harden. 100%. Denny Avdia, you go. Denny Denny I believe deserves to be an All-Star, but I think there's enough room for everybody.
Well, yeah, but we got to go Kawhi, Denny, and then if there's room for your boy James, maybe. But I don't see a team under 500 getting two players in. Not in this league, not with all this talent.
They're almost at 500. Okay? They're 5 games below 500, okay? But I think what you have to think about in the case of the Clippers is, what would they be without those two guys? And I'm telling you, it would be a bad situation without those two guys, okay? And again, no disrespect. These other guys are all NBA players. They deserve respect, but there's levels to this. And Kawhi Leonard and James Harden have played at an all-star level this season. 100%, absolutely. And I'm not just saying that. I'm saying it because I cover the Clippers professionally. You know, for those of you who may not do the pregame, halftime, postgame show, Neil does the same thing for the Blazers, okay? But what it has allowed me to do is to see them up close. And so if I had the same vantage point of seeing them up close, but not working with the team, I would still say the same thing. It's not homerism. It's just having the benefit of seeing them up close and seeing what they've done on a night-by-night basis. But look at the numbers. Look at the numbers, and we'll revisit this. And you can tell me.
Who do you put in, James Harden or LeBron James, based on numbers?
This year's numbers?
Yeah.
James Harden. This year's numbers.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
But it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. There's a lot of lifetime achievement consideration in the All-Star game, and there's a lot of popularity contest in the All-Star game. And there's not a lot of fans who aren't Clippers fans who've like Kawhi Leonard, his heater lately, he's been out the last couple of games with an ankle injury. But go look at what he did from December 20th until that last game before he got hurt. And I'll put it up against any player in the NBA.
I'm not sure they vote on. I'm not sure they vote on All-Stars for just a select period of time during the first half of the season.
I mean, no, he was hurt.
I think it's from game 1.
I know.
But
he was hurt, and then he came back. And during the time that he's been on the court, look at his numbers. Now, I believe he's missed 13 or 14 games.
All right.
But the games he's played, he's been a top 5 player in the league. In the games he's played. Top 5 in the NBA. Look it up. Look it up.
There you go. Look it up. That'll give you something to do. Look it up. And while you're at it, look up James Harden's numbers, too, because he's really great.
James Harden has moved into number 10 and then number 9 all-time in scoring this season.
Oh, my God. You know what time it is. It's time for us. I'm so glad we had this time.
Look it up.
It's time for us to go.
I'm going to ask you next Wednesday. Your homework is to look up these numbers on Kawhi Leonard and James Harden. And I think
I only have to look up one number. Under 500, you get one guy. You get one guy. You don't get two guys.
Okay, what if he promises to shake hands with the other team after the game?
Oh, then he's in. Sportsmanship reigns supreme. Coach D, get us out of here.
Let's go.
How's it? Do you know what time it is?
Let's go.
The Stan and Neil Show. 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 With Stan, Stan, he's the man. And who's Stan's biggest fan? Well,
It's Neil.
and Neil, he keeps it real. And that's why Neil's the deal. Stan and Neil back together again. Spreading the love with all their old friends.
Let's go.
Stan and Neil back together for you. Keeping it cool, 'cause cool's our rule. The Stan and Neil Show, 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 the Stan and Neil Show.
Yeah. All right, let me hear it all back. See what we got so far.
So, shout out to Coach D for the jingle, the Stan and Neil jingle.